Oh, hey. I don't even know if y'all can see me. Okay, there we go. I was jamming because I didn't see y'all. Let me turn this down. I finally made it to your live. Hey, not one of my friends from college being on here. Hey, hey. Hold on. Let me pull up my other thing. Um, okay. I'm gonna let like I was late, so that's on me. I'm gonna wait like 2 minutes. Whoa, I'm gonna wait like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna start talking about the topic because I was struggling just now. Y'all can hear me, right? Y'all can hear me? Can y'all hear Giveon in the background? That's my favorite artist. I need to go see him, but I ain't got no money. But yeah, can y'all hear me and or the music? Okay. Please do let me know. Because last time somebody said that they could not hear me, and I was like, dang, this is so good. Okay, great. Great, great, great. So we can just go ahead and get started. Excuse me, I got some mint ice cream, and I've never had mint ice cream before, and I'm starting to see why y'all like it. It's a little sweet, but I can dig this. So, anyways, let's talk about the competition and comparison in med school, because unfortunately, yes, you are gonna have to deal with it. Mint, it's straight mint. I have mint pecans and rainbow sprinkles. It's so good. Never in my life did I think that I would get this, but sorry, I'm over here comparing ice cream flavors instead of this topic about your peers being a bunch of weirdos. Because unfortunately, you will probably run into this in any academic space. I'm not gonna say that it's just medicine. I feel like this is anywhere. This is anywhere where the foundations of the field were based on like flexing on people. I think academia in general, it was all about I'm smarter than you, I know more than you, and those unfortunate systems still continue to this day. Right? It's a pissing contest, for lack of a better word. Excuse my language, but that's really what it is. It's people flexing their egos, which is why I'm always saying, "Oh, this is an elitist space. This is an ego-based space." But for real, imagine your worst day with your neighbors is going yacht for yacht. So I just think that the profession is very unserious sometimes in the things that I believe that it focuses on a lot of very superficial who cares kind of things. Um, but unfortunately, when you're raised in this environment where this is normal, like it is normal for you to do a lot of competing, do a lot of comparing in terms of metrics that don't even matter, like you're not going to think that it's weird. So I think that for me, bot running. Okay, stream elements. So I think for me, it was definitely like a culture shock because I never really cared about stuff like that. Like I never cared about being like, oh, my grades are better than yours, or oh, I don't know. Like again, I didn't really have anything to flex on. My parents are both from the ghettos of Baltimore, so I didn't have any type of flex of being like, yeah, my dad owns a bigger business than yours. That has never been my thing. So to come into medicine, to come into this very elitist academic space, and to see how normal that is to just go tit for tat with stuff can be very jarring, in my opinion. I mean, again, if you're used to it, kudos, I guess. But that's just not something that I thought to worry about going into medicine. I was more so focused on the actual academic challenges because I heard how tough it was, but I never stopped to think about the social aspects and the social differences that I like. You can't study for that. You can't study for the social unawareness that you have when entering into a space that's like very old, this very old money kind of space. And so I think it's very, again, normal for a lot of your peers to bring up casual comparisons, casual things of competition, and think nothing of it. So it's not that I fault anybody for being the way that they are in this space, but it's definitely something that, in my opinion, you should kind of like train yourself to brace for. Because the amount of times where somebody would just, nobody asked, we weren't curious, and one of my peers have been like, "Yeah, that was an easy test, right?" I was surprised at how easy it was. And the whole time you studied for 40 days and 40 nights and you still failed. Okay? And it's just, I don't know. To me, it's social cues that I would think would be pretty obvious that are somehow getting missed every single time. I actually have a very specific example as well, because a lot of times these people will lie. It's not even just competition in comparison of actual facts. Oh, I have better grades. Sometimes people are engaging in acts of competition and they're lying about it. Like I remember that I had, not to throw anybody under the bus, but I had this one classmate. She used to be a friend of mine. And she just, I think I shared this on my channel before. She just randomly let us know that she got like a 95 on this project. Or it wasn't a project, it was like an in class assignment. So we were like, oh, okay, cool. So go ahead, let's use your paper as like the answer key since you're the one who got the most right. So then all we have to do is correct one or two questions and submit the assignment. So as we're like going over the paper, we're noticing that the stuff that we all would have gotten right, she was getting wrong. So it's like that's not possible if you are saying that you got the best grade out of all of us, which means that you lied unnecessarily so just to have a talking point and a bragging point. And that's weird. That's actually very weird. And this happens a lot. This happens a lot. I haven't told a lie yet. Like, no, this happens a lot. Like, just unsolicited lies, unsolicited flexing, and it's annoying. Like, I wouldn't even say, y'all, that this is something that you have to deeply worry about and keep yourself up at night about. At best, this is just annoying. Um, and you learn how to navigate it. It makes people feel good. Yeah, it makes people feel good to flex and brag, right? And it's just like, whatever. It's just weird though, especially if they're doing this. Yes, and especially if they're doing this and you're not doing well. I will say that's hard to have your classmates. You're making me laugh. But to have your classmates just come up to you and flex, whether or not they are lying, because you're not thinking about that when you're doing bad. I remember that I was barely passing cardio. This is on my platform. I have spoken very openly about how cardio beat me. I was getting jumped. I was getting jumped by heart molecules. It was just not it. The EKGs were suffocating me at nights. I did not like cardiology. And so I'm in the middle of trying not to fail. I'm literally crying my butt off, like, oh my God, if I fail, I'm gonna lose my scholarship. Like I'm panicking. That actually is not what would happen. But still, I'm like, I'm gonna lose my scholarship. I'm not gonna be good for orthopedic surgery. They're not gonna consider me because I'm dumb. Like I failed cardio. I was going through it. Here goes some of my classmates. Man, this block isn't as bad as I thought. This isn't that bad at all. Right. They be like, oh yeah, I think I did really bad on that test, and they got like an 87. Right. Like, there's so many times where I was like, this is so awkward because I cannot relate. The grades and the things that you're talking about, I am fighting for my life. I am holding on. And you are talking about it like it's just a minor inconvenience. So that can definitely stir up a lot of very ugly emotions. I will say that. I think that you can end up with this sense of resentment towards your peers, and you don't want that. You really don't. Not only because it doesn't serve you any, like, it doesn't do you any justice or do you any good, it's also just, it's just not necessary. Like I said, these are just things that they have grown up to normalize. And I don't even mean to make it sound like a they versus them kind of thing, but I do genuinely believe that you can tell when somebody is used to operating in this hyper elite academic space versus somebody who's coming into it. It's just a difference in how we're socialized. And so it can be hard not to hold it against them because in your head you're like, why don't you know that this is not okay? Like why are you not thinking 2 plus 2 equals 4, that there are just some things that you should just not say. Um, and then there's also a lot of backhandedness as well, to where it's not just people who can't help it. It's also people who are doing it on purpose. And so it's hard to differentiate the two. You can't tell who's just, this is just how I was raised and I don't know any better, versus people who are like, no, they know better and they just don't care. Sometimes though, it can be a bit obvious in just their tone of voice and their overall attitude. I remember one time we were sitting around at lunch. Dang, I pause. Because some of my cohort definitely told me that they came across my channel and be watching my videos. They be watching my videos, so they either know who I'm talking about or they are the person that I'm talking about. And I don't care. So continued. I remember we were sitting around at lunch after, I don't even know what we were doing, after a class or something. And we're all just vibing and chilling, listening to music. And one of my friends goes, one of my associates, yeah, they're not my friends. One of my associates, she's like, I really want to get into research. I want to get into research and I think that I need a mentor, and it would be great if y'all could like help me. Like, y'all are doing a lot of research. She's saying y'all to the rest of us sitting around the table. So I really want you guys to help me. Cool, no problem. Before I can even get a word out, here goes one of the other girls. I really don't rock with her. So if she were to see this, I don't care. But here she goes talking about, you're just not applying yourself. You just got to get yourself out there. You're just not asking the right questions. Take a look at me, for example. And she's just going in about how great and awesome she is. And pretty much my other associate, she just needs to be like Mike. She needs to be like Mike and get like her, and do as she does. And I thought that that was so weird. I just felt like that was so out of pocket, just left field. Why did you feel the need to stunt and flex on her and she's asking for help? It was just very uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I ended up interjecting and going. So anyway, I can understand why getting into research is hard. I got lucky hitting it off with a mentor who was able to guide me through it. But like, don't worry. Like, I think that it's pretty normal if you don't know how to navigate a medical space and get a mentor. Like, I think that's more than fine. And I just didn't like how quick it was for this other girl to just start putting her down and just being like, whatever about it. It was very weird. Um, and so all of this to say that I think the most important thing is awareness, right? When you're dealing with the competition and comparison that is just innate to the space of medicine as a hyper academic field, I think you just having awareness. Okay, some people are just like this. Some people are actually pretty mean and nasty and gross. And just like, what does that mean for you? What are you going to do with that information? What are you going to do knowing that this is the space that you're in? And my best advice is to just like stay true to yourself. Please do not force yourself to associate with people that like you really don't need to. That's another big thing too. I think it's very easy in something like any medical space, any collegiate type of space, any scholastic space, to try to like group up and click up. But don't force yourself to do that. They can 100% just stay your peers. They can just stay your classmates. Like, you don't need to take them in deeply into your life and like, oh, we're all hanging out. Oh, we're no. And I get that it's hard because it's a hard field. Like, you're stressed out a lot. You're sacrificing a lot. You probably can't go home. Not really if you're not from the area. And so it can be a lot of factors that pressure you into trying to force community. Don't do it. Don't do it. You are better off being by yourself, as crazy as it sounds. You are better off being by yourself than being in a company full of people who make you uncomfortable, right? Like, there are so many things that the group that I used to hang out with, just the way that they navigated and interacted with the world, I was like, oh no, this is not, I don't know where y'all do things at, but this is not how I do things. And I don't want to be cool with y'all. And I had to be okay kind of isolating myself as a result. It definitely hurt. I'm not saying that it was easy, but in hindsight, that is the best thing that I could have done versus staying around a group of people who genuinely make me feel bad about myself. That is crazy. Um, Stay true forever. Love that message. No, exactly. I think that this is a lesson of adulting, period. As you get older, the more that you know yourself, the more that you love and accept yourself, even if it's not easy all the time, even if you have some days where you're making yourself mad, whatever. But getting into a space where, again, there is less than positive attitudes innately baked into the system, the last thing that you need is the additional stress because you're trying to stay in community when you really just need to leave. Mm-mm. And you're just gonna also notice a lot of unfair things as well. I'm gonna be honest. There are so many times where I have witnessed my peers kind of getting ahead unfairly simply because of different statuses and things that they do, right? Like you're gonna notice the favoritism in classes. There are so many times where I got like yelled at over something that some of my other peers would do all the time on a daily basis. And it was funny when they did it, it was cool when they did it. But anyway, I ain't even gonna get into it. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. But I'm just saying, I feel like you're gonna start to pick up on that as you're in the space. And staying true to yourself and being aware of who you are will also protect you from being a very bitter, angry person. Because there's no point in getting mad. Sometimes it's just like, you know what? That could never be me. I could never get away with that. I don't even have the means to do what you just did. This is crazy. Your attitude absolutely sucks. If I acted like that, somebody would tell me that I suck. Like you're gonna be so in disbelief a lot of times that you might as well close your jaw. Stop. Do not leave your mouth agape. Do not leave it aghast. There is so much audacity to be found in this field. Just don't even do that to your mental health. Just don't. Um, if you guys did tune in to my live where I talked about, oh, I almost got arrested at my internship. I told y'all how the program director of this internship looked me right in my eyes and was like, yeah, I will lie about your volunteer hours. You don't have to actually volunteer. I'll just write and say that you did them here with us on your med school application. Like, imagine how many opportunities people have gotten throughout their life like that, to where they really didn't have to do that much work. They just knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. Life is not fair. You will choke. You will choke trying to equalize it. Um, so yeah, I think that all that goes to say that there are just a lot of things that you can't avoid if you're into this space of medicine or any other academic space, and you got it so long as you don't go in blind and a fool and staying shocked too long, because you will be shocked for the rest of your life if you keep being surprised about things that you see in healthcare. So that's all I had in terms of the talk. I literally yapped for 17 minutes straight, or give or take. So please, if y'all have questions, like specific questions or specific things that you want to say, like, yeah, I went through this, and you have like, I don't know, like you want to know how I would handle it, or you want to know if I've ever been through something similar, whatever. I feel like this live topic is more personal, even though it's school related. So if you guys have personal things that y'all want to share, that y'all want to ask, please do so. Otherwise, this is not going to be one of those long hour plus lives that I stay on, because I'm out here. I'm cracking my neck looking up at this camera. I was supposed to be doing my hair. The hair is not done. So, yeah, if y'all don't have anything else, that's okay too. Otherwise, if y'all don't have anything, y'all can always tell me good nights. I love saying goodbye and stuff. Goodbye. Whoa. See you laters. See you laters. I gotta work on stop. No more goodbyes. See you laters. Um, if not, yeah, I'll do some see you laters and some good nights, and that'll be the end of the live. My voice is gone. Do you feel like you are basically supporting yourself through this academic process? Oh, for sure. My degree is only what I make of it. That's not to say that I don't have anybody helping me, right? Like I obviously still have mentors and other opportunities, but I find myself truly supporting myself emotionally and not having anyone. Yeah. Yeah, I think that being in any type of healthcare profession or lifestyle profession, so what I mean by a lifestyle profession is just something that requires an abundance of sacrifice that you wouldn't see in a typical 9 to 5. Either because the training is very rigorous or the things that you do on a day to day are very rigorous. So I would say something like law enforcement, being a lawyer, being a doctor, right? Things that just consume so much of you. I think that in lifestyle careers, it can be very isolating because I think it's hard for people to understand who are not in it. You're literally talking about certain aspects of your life that people cannot relate to. They have no idea what you're talking about. Honestly, I feel that way whenever my friends who are in computer science talk. They talk about a lot of like things that I'm like, what are these terms? And so I think that being linguistically isolated, right? To where you're talking about very specific, very niche things related to your job. That is one element of feeling alone. And then you have this second element because of a lot of the toxicity that are in these spaces. And so it can be double isolating in that effect to where you don't have people outside to talk to and you don't have people inside to talk to. And that's really unfortunate. um, so what I've had to learn to do is really separate this side of my life. I think that it has been easier for me to get that separation now that I've been on a leave of absence because I have no choice but to kind of like put that identity onto a shelf. I have a lot of other things that I have to worry about. And like the other Janae, the med student Janae, is like she's on freeze until March. And so I think getting that separation is really important. It's just tough. The peers that I have are very flip floppy and they truly have malevolent intentions to see you fail. They have it built up. They have the built up on malignancy. Yeah, yeah. There can be a lot of like actual people who don't want to see you prosper. Like including your superiors, like your supervisors and stuff. There are definitely people who are like who will like crap on you for and for the sake of making themselves feel better as well. I think the competition's attitude comes from the belief of a scarcity mindset and having this false idea that only 10 people can be successful. Agreed. Agreed. Not even just scarcity, but also superiority, right? If you start thinking that you're a part of that 10 or you are the one, it can be easy to degrade and devalue and dismiss others. Um, like walking around with a better than attitude. Like I'm literally better than you, and therefore anything that you're telling me is just through seen as a lens of like you're weak. A good example that I actually have of this is one day randomly we were talking in class, and this girl, dang, I'm like trashing on my cohort right now. That's not what I'm intending to do. I'm not saying that any of these people were inherently bad people. I'm just saying my experience, and that's it. But one day we were in class and just unsolicited for no reason at all. This girl goes, I really wish that medicine became graded again. I wish that we got to see people's percentages. I wish that we got the ABC system. What? Why would you want that? And she gonna say, well, because I feel like me passing with a 90 isn't the same as the person who passed with a 60. Did they pass? Did they like I like stuff like that really irritates me, and that sort of goes into like the nitty gritty conversations about what people feel are unqualified persons entering the workspace. I think all of that is very coded language for a toxic type of privilege that I don't bang with. I don't get down with that because again, if the passing mark is a 65, who cares if you got a 92? You passed, and that's all that matters. Like, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to truly assess and determine these minute split percentage differences of intelligence. Get over yourself. It's just very weird. I don't care. Argue with y'all mama if y'all don't agree with that in terms of the pass fail system. I feel like a doctor is a doctor, and so long as they know what they're doing in terms of being able to pass and being able to get their certifications and licensure. Same thing with any medical professional, anybody, any professional, period. If they pass and they got that license, that's theirs. That's not for you to dissect and determine if they're good enough. Who are you? You're not even the patient. You're having this attitude and you're not even the person being seen by. Anyways, I'm about to get mad. I'm just saying. There are certain attitudes that really do just grind your gears in this space for sure. Um, Give me 1 second though, y'all. I'm so sorry if that was loud because I just moved my mic cord. Give me 1 second. My ice cream has turned into soup because I was yapping and I should have knew better. Give me just. I'm gonna be right back. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. I was about to get mad. If I had to drink my ice cream later, I would have cried. Um, I think it's best for anyone to see their presence as a gift. And if people aren't being respectful or appreciative, let it go, especially if it's disturbing your peace. I love that. Yes. My presence is a present, or whatever Kanye West said. Um, because truly, you would drive yourself crazy trying to force yourself to fit in around people who genuinely just like don't care for you. Like that's a harsh truth. Like some of these people, they just are not gonna like you. They're not gonna like you. They're gonna think you're weird. They're gonna think you're different. Who cares? Who cares? Um, I agree. Passing is the most important. So, do we have nurse bullying? So, we have nurse bullying. Do you have medical doctor bullying or residence doctor bullying? Is that a thing for you? Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, we do. We definitely do. Especially the lower that you are in the power totem, for sure. Um, if like as a medical student, you can feel very, very small in terms of speaking up for yourself because you're literally the person with least rank in any given medical space. So we get told to, shove off by everybody in the OR. Everybody in the OR, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to see us. We're in the way, we're annoying. And then when it comes to medical training, being in medical education, a lot of these professors can 100% have power trips. Unfortunately, I've heard a lot of stories of residents leaving due to bias and discrimination and not really having a voice to stand up for themselves. Like the fear of backlash is real. The fear of, oh my gosh, this person is going to write me a poor evaluation and they're going to ruin my trajectory. They're going to ruin my career trajectory. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely had a fear of that myself with taking the leave of absence. Like I am deathly afraid that they have marked me as this uncooperative black woman who's just you need to stay away. Like I am terrified because that's a real thing. There are people who get pushed out of medicine all the time simply from extra pressure, excess pressure that they can't deal with. Um, Not me though. I refuse. We just gonna have to fight. But not really, not literally YouTube. Don't flag me. But yes, that is definitely a thing. 100% a thing. Um, how did you deal with not having a support system within your cohort? Honestly, I don't think that I had a support system even when I talked to those people. Okay. I think that there's a difference between having company and having community. I never had community with my cohort. I had people to jabba 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 after an exam, but I never truly felt at home with those people because I would watch them talk bad about other people that I just seen them talking to 2 days ago. So being hyper aware that these people are fake, because I do have a very big personality, right? I'm very expressive, I'm very direct. I think that you can tell that based off of the way that I post content. Gosh, I was buffering just now. But because I have this very direct and straightforward personality, I can be a lot, right? I'm not everybody's cup of tea. However, because I'm a person that spends a lot of time in their own company and just like with their own thoughts, I I preface a lot of things very well. I communicate very well on purpose because I know that I have these deficits, for lack of a better word. And so when you're dealing with people who lack that self-awareness, and again, they constantly and consistently make you feel bad about yourself, I think that it is a stretch to say that I felt any different cutting them off. I never had them in the first place. Now, if you are able to make a community within your cohort, but for whatever reason things fall apart, or if you just struggle to build one, period, I think that that might be a different story. But I think that for me, because of the cohort socializing, right? Like I don't know what the word would be, just like the social atmosphere of my cohort, because I never really fit in with it, I didn't really feel a loss. So that was me personally. Do you enjoy competing with your peers to a degree? I find myself feeling a little more motivated to do exceptional as a former athlete. I sometimes wonder if that's how your mind is. I think it would be the element of competition. I do like the idea of racking up accomplishments though, for sure. Why did I smile like that? I looked so devious just now. But seriously, I love the idea of just like, I don't know, like, ooh, I did that. Like I'm getting like praises. I feel like I'm doing a good job. I do. So I like it in that sense. Not oh, I want to see what my peers are doing to see if I'm doing better than them. Like I don't care about that. I don't care about that. But I do like if they notice that I'm doing really well. I will say that. Like when they see me, when I know it's somebody that is in my space, my academic space, and they see me like at a conference and like I'm looking good, like it does give me an ego boost for sure. Um, but in terms of worrying about what those people are doing, nah. People lie too much for me to care. And I think that you will experience, well, hopefully you don't, but I think that you can very much experience this rather quickly in these academic spaces. Like people be lying. People lying. I'm jealous, and what you're saying isn't even true. You know, beyond that example that I gave of the girl lying about her grades, people will lie about their accomplishments, bro. Like people are so used to lying too. I remember one time I had told one of my, and I'm getting ahead of myself, because something that people will do a lot as well is make it seem like the thing that you're doing is way too hard for you to accomplish. They will project their insecurities onto you. So they will say something like, "Man, I don't know if you should do this because I've heard da 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 da." And if you this, that, and the third, like they're projecting their insecurities onto you. So then when you say, "Hey, I've done X, Y, Z," and they don't believe you, it's either because they think that you're lying because they think it's no way because they wouldn't do that. So, for example, I had told, dang, I'm so sorry to my cohort. But for example, I had been talking to one of my ex associates, and I was telling him about how I got published in a journal. I got published in a narrative. I didn't even tell him what it was because he didn't ask me any further questions. He immediately started denying it like it was impossible for me to say. I was like, yeah, I got published in a medical journal because this is our going into our second year. So I'm telling him, oh yeah, I got published essentially from doing something in my first year. And he was like, there's no way. Which journal? What was it about? And is looking it up while he's asking me questions. He's literally typing in my name and it's like, I don't see it. I don't see it. It was so weird. He was such a weirdo for that. Like, am I tripping or is that not crazy to do? Like, why is your first thought not congratulations? Why is your first thought to try to like play a check me? It was very weird. I didn't like it. And I don't know. It's because people be lying or people be thinking that you're lying because of insecurities that are all over the place. It's crazy. Yeah, he was very salty. He looked that up so quick. He looked that up so quick, y'all. And then when he saw that it was like, no, it was actually published, not even just online, not even just in the narrative section that it was supposed to be. They ended up adopting my piece and putting it into the official journal. And it was like an international journal. And it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? But in general, though, why would I have to lie about that? Like, that's such an extravagant lie for me to make up. But he was just convinced that there was just no way. So yeah, man. It's a lot of it's a lot of strange things that go on in the medical space in these professional spaces. Period. Which is why I be feeling bad for y'all. Like when it comes to the influencers and stuff that y'all be seeing, I'm gonna let y'all keep that image that y'all have of them. I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Um, but just know a lot of them, those personalities are not what they're like online. And it's just so interesting. It's so interesting to see the personas that people will curate that don't exist in reality. And somebody could say that about me. Somebody could look at my channel right now and be like, yeah, that girl is cap. She's actually insane or whatever. They could think whatever they're gonna think. I don't think that I don't think there's such thing as having an objective experience of somebody. This is kind of existential, forgive me, but I don't think that there's such a thing as having an objective experience with a person. I think that everybody experiences each other very differently. You know, to somebody, I am a nightmare. To somebody else, I am the dream girl. To somebody else, you know what I mean? Like everybody has a different perception of me. So that isn't to say that people who get on social media and content create and make content are like faker than anybody else, but I do think that there's an effort and there is an attempt to be intentionally other, right? To be a character and to be a persona specific to online that does not exist in reality. I do think some people do that on purpose, but I'm gonna leave that there. I be wanting to know what different people think of me. No facts. I mean, you could just ask. You could literally just be like, so which but that might come off as a little like neurodivergent. Y'all, I want to talk so bad about my experience being a neurodivergent adult. Because this whole time, bro, I'm thinking it's normal. I'm thinking that everybody acts like this. But the more that I learn about my conditions, the more that I'm like, oh yeah, people probably think I'm a little off. People probably think I'm such a weirdo. And that's crazy to think. Like I'm thinking I'm such this cool, I don't even know, like cool, expressive, linguistic, lyrical individual. And whole time somebody just thinks that I'm annoying. Somebody thinks that I'm annoying and won't shut up. That is crazy. Like I'm sure that the perception that other people have of me is nowhere close to what I have in my mind. And that's okay. I don't want to know. I don't want to know that. Don't even tell me. Keep that to yourself. No, thank you. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that's how my peers feel every time I talk about them on my channel. Like if they are watching, I wonder if they get on here and they're like and they like are salty. It's not funny because again, I don't mean any offense to them. I can only talk about my experience as I actually lived it. I can't lie about it. I won't lie about it. What Giveon song is even playing in the background here? Favorite mistake. Question. Answer. How can I help? Y'all, my throat. Oh my gosh. It's a little off topic. That's okay. I feel like the topic is kind of wrapped up. I think I gave some good little gems in the beginning. So feel free to ask anybody. I don't know who's how many. It says I have like 10 people in here. I don't know. Feel free to ask whatever y'all want. I'm gonna probably wrap it up sooner rather than later. Probably in like the next 10 minutes. Oh my god, this is my song. I'm not gonna attempt to sing this because I know my throat is cooked, and y'all will not make fun of me because I can actually sing. I know in one of your videos you kind of touched on not being close with your mom at this time. Are you planning on any kind of family estrangement? I think we are already estranged. I'm not planning on doing anything formal. I don't know if that's what you mean. Um, I'm more like I have said what I had to say, and now it will be up to all of my family members because it's not just my mom. It will be up to all of my family members to follow suit. I've given the directions. I have let them know how I'm feeling, like I said, and where I'm coming from with things and the things that I think could improve our relationship. Let's go to therapy. You don't want to do that? Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to repair and that's your choice, that's your prerogative, but I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to allow stress into my life because you don't want to grow up, for lack of a better word. I'm actually reading this book right now. I'm gonna put it in the chat because I highly recommend it. It's called um let me hold up. What's it called, y'all? It's like emotionally immature parents or something. There it is. Adult children of emotionally immature parents. And it is so good. Well, so far, a lot of this stuff you would feel like it's kind of a no duh, right? Like it's so weird. It's such a weird experience reading about your own traumas. Not to say that anybody has to be that deeply reflective, but I think that there's something about reading things of your experience that relate to your experience and getting that validation of, oh, I knew I wasn't crazy. Like getting that validation of like, I knew that there was something wrong. I knew that wasn't normal. It's great. It hits different. So I'm going to be estranging next year and I'm just kind of stuck on the best way to go about it. Did you call and say it? Did you write an email or how did you disclose this information to them? We actually got into an argument. I had a whole blowout argument with my mom. No full transparency because I'm healed from it now. I had this big explosive conversation with my mom and my older brother, and I was just letting them know this was during the time that I had just went on my LOA. I asked my mom for some money, and she just started like losing her mind. Like I don't know what was wrong with her, and it was pretty much this long thing of just me telling her like this is why these are traumatic kind of triggers for me, and you're the way that you're talking to me, and I'm not okay with this anymore. Very much therapy speak. Okay, I was getting my money's worth from my therapy sessions and from being in medical school. Very intelligent girl. So I'm trying to express and explain myself, and I was like, oh, she's starting to say things that are well, she can't. She's not gonna be able to recover from that. Like the things that she was saying. So it just got to a point where I was like, no, 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 no. I'm not doing this. I'm not dealing with it. I'm already going through a lot right now. I'm going through a lot right now. My school is trying to kick me out. They weren't actually trying to kick me out. Well, maybe. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff with my school. I got to retake my licensing exam. I'm in this, freaking relationship, and that man was stressing me out. Like, bro, I had so much going on all at once that was like the final straw. Like my parents just dropping the ball, talking to me any kind of crazy. I let them know from that day forward, the only time that y'all want to talk, you can do so through the therapist couch. Thank you. That's all. I'm not going back and forth. I said what I said. I've been like spoken this way around people. I remember I was on the phone with one of my friends, one of my actual friends, and my mom called me because he was on the iPad. So she called me on my phone, and I'm just listening to her and the things that she's saying, and she's antagonizing me on purpose. My mom has a lot of very, very like just not healthy attitudes about her, and so she's antagonizing me. And I looked at the phone and I said, I refuse to engage in this conversation with you at this point in time. So unless you would like to speak to me on the terms that I said, going to therapy, I am going to block you. And I hung up the phone and I blocked her. And she was emailing me and all this, and she was still trying to antagonize me through email. It wasn't until she sent me one really apologizing and taking accountability for what she did that I unblocked her. And that was last month. And she had been blocked for like 6 months. I was not playing with her. And like to this day, she still hasn't made the therapy appointment, and to this day, she still doesn't really hear from me. So I don't know. I feel like it doesn't have to be a whole thing. I really, and not to say and diminish your feelings about it. I'm. It obviously is very hard. I think that for me, I had just gotten to a breaking point because of everything that was going on in my life. But I think once you become aware that again you're in a space or in an environment that's just not healthy for you, choose yourself. Have some self-preservation, please. I'm not going to say self-respect because I don't think that respect has anything to do with it, but just self-preservation. Stop being, so self-sacrificial to circumstances that you legitimately do not have to deal with. Um, so yeah. And if it helps, go to therapy. Go to therapy, do, what I'm saying, get the proper support that you need to be able to develop these skills, especially if they're not something that come, firsthand to you. What are your steps to healing through this? I find myself happy, but it's painful to never truly be loved by my parents. It was all very conditional. I mean, again, therapy. I probably sound like a broken record, but going to therapy and then having a really good support system outside of your family members. I may not have the best support system. I don't have a support system with my cohort, but I certainly have one in lifelong friendships that are basically like family to me. My best friend of 11 years, y'all. 11 years going on 12. She's getting married. And I am so excited as if my sister is getting married. Like, I can't wait to go there and call her family, like mom and dad. I had a very, very close relationship with my friends, which I think is also to be expected, right? If you're not getting that type of love and support from your familial environment, I think it's easy to cling and to attach to other external relationships, which is probably why I fall in love a little bit too hard, but that's neither here nor there. Um, but I think that just diving deep into the community that you do have really helps alleviate the pain of the one that you never had. Because it's like, how can you continue to hurt over something that you never had experience with? That's like me crying about like I'm never dating. Who do I really love in the industry? I can't even think of a popular artist that I would like want to marry because entertainment is gross and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. That is like me mourning never getting married to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to his wife. Shout out to his wife. That is a lucky. I will restrain. They say not to lust after people's husbands, but I'm just saying that would be like me mourning a reality that never existed. This is not the multiverse. You do not live in Marvel. You do not need to mourn over things that never existed. It's okay. Um, yeah, that's the best advice that I have there for that one. And I didn't mean to like turn that into a joke, but I'm just saying like there are so many things that like I would just shoulda, coulda, woulda, man. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Uh, but it's okay. I'm convinced to this day, had I not came to the South, I would be married by now. Sorry to you Southerners, but my husband is not here. He's not. And I have mourned that 1,000 times, 1,000 lives in which I was a wife. Bars, bars. But that's just not this reality, not right now. And that's okay. And maybe it's not y'all reality to get along with your peers, as was the live topic. That's okay. You will survive through medical school or law school, wherever you at. You will survive even though you're not close with your cohort. I promise you. Especially, man, especially after first year, you're not gonna see them people anyway. Once you go to the clinic, y'all are all so focused. You're not gonna see them anyway. You're not rocking with the Southern hospitality. What is the Southern hospitality? Let's really talk about that. Excuse me, Southerners. I have a bone to pick with y'all. Y'all were supposed to be extra super duper califragilistic level of nice, and that's not what it is. Very nasty nice in the South. I'm sorry. Sorry to all my Southern supporters. Love y'all down, but mm-mm. We gotta start. We gotta bring back booing people. That means we also have to go back booing the states. It's just a no for me. And everything is so far apart. Why is everything 50 minutes apart? Well, y'all don't like each other. Yeah, what's with all the land? Why do you have so much land? And that's why I got all them bugs. I seen this big. Y'all have roaches down here. I just want to put that out here. Y'all have people who say that North Carolina does not have roaches because they have something else. They have water bugs, palmetto bugs. That is a roach. They in the roach family, Rochavidae. I'm not playing with y'all. It's because there's too much space down here. Get me out here. I'm about to go into a whole nother tangent of how I don't ever need to live in the South. It's just not for me. Yes, thank you for being open and honest. It's truly healing. Yay! I'm so glad, bruh. I'm sorry that y'all are in such a weird angle. I promise I'm not trying to aura farm my one side of my face. Is it working? I just this is uncomfortable to look directly at y'all. My eye has astigmatism and it's looking directly at that light. So yeah, I'm done yapping. Honestly, I didn't really have nothing else for this topic. I always feel bad that at the end of the lives, I'm just running my mouth because then it makes it difficult for me to put the timestamps for people to navigate to the stuff that like they actually came here for. It's okay though. I only get like 200 something views on the lives anyway, which I appreciate. I actually think that's quite a lot for a live for the size of my platform. I think I have great engagement numbers for the size of my platform, and I can only thank y'all for that. Thank y'all 1,000 times. I know it's a good video so long as like 300 something people watch it, and the fact that I pretty much hit that a lot of times. It's like only every now and then that I don't, or I'm at least close to it. Like I think that's pretty good. So thank y'all for being in my community. Thank y'all for being in my chats. I don't really have anything else for this topic. And honestly, a girl needs to log off. A girl has to go because your girl has to lay down. Can y'all see that I'm tired? Like I literally ate and stuffed my face right before I got on here because I was guilt eating about the fact that I didn't do my hair, and now I'm exhausted. So that's all I got for y'all tonight. Thank y'all for joining. Let me say my laters and good nights in the chat. Laters. I'm about to shut down, y'all. Bye. Oh, see you later. I'm working on that.